pulled the hub adapter off the wheel. 48 tooth is still sitting on there. What I had to do was retap this hole here. Obviously that worked. Tap and die kit is a must. Now what we're going to do to sort out the fitment over the hub is we're going to get our grinding stone out. I'm going to do our best to round this out as evenly as we can to match that 1.75 sheep knuckles, or however the hell you Americans work it out. Alrighty. So what I've had to do is retap the hub adapter, and I've put an unfortunate amount of Loctite back in these Allen bolts. Now unfortunately I've done some irreparable damage to the bike. If I can get in here, you can see this is all chewed out in there. See, we can't really see from the other side, but you can see just on the other side of this wheel, that's all been mashed out. In my haste to go for a ride and test it all out yesterday, I didn't align the sprocket very well and it was all rubbing up against the frame, as you can see in there. And I didn't get further than around the corner before I had to carry the bike back with the back wheel in the air. So I've realigned it now as best I can, so it's not rubbing up against the frame. Alright, let me get you in there. So I should have clearance now. The question will be, will I be able to start it? And will it turn out to be reliable? Unfortunately, the old Mk4 bike, it's been a staple of my little motorised bike garage. I've travelled further on it than any other, but it is starting to show its age. More and more things are starting to rattle apart on it. I'm having to replace more and more little accessory bolts on it. I just hope that we can keep it in a condition where it's actually able to be ridden, because I'd really hate to say goodbye to this frame, but if I keep having the same amount of trouble as what I have been, it just might be time. There we go. I don't know how well we can see that on the video. I'm struggling. Yeah, 577 kilometres according to the bike. So I'm going to take it out for a ride now, and hopefully I haven't bent anything drastic. Alrighty, some sad news unfortunately. We are going to have to say goodbye to the Mk4's signature front fender. I've been having more and more trouble with it rattling loose. This morning I had to remove these bars because they were basically just flopping forwards, and the vibrations with only being on the back here, that's now vibrated loose there, so I've cable tied it up. As you can see, I'll give you a close-up around here, which that'll get us home for the current ride. But unfortunately it's just too dangerous to leave on. I'm going to throw a few extra ties up around there if I can, but unfortunately I just think for the sake of safety I'm just going to have to remove it. Now I just have to share a little bit of my genius. I've just cable tied the top, I've looped around here and back underneath, which, aside from a little bit of rubbing from that one, should be enough to stop any massive vibrations and at least let me finish this ride without having to turn around and go straight home. So yay. Alrighty. So what I have here out in the middle of the bush is a seized clutch. So in a very short minute, we're going to pop that case open and see if we can get it unstuck. But sort of first, I wanted to give you a bit of a look at where we are. There's a bit of a local, I don't know, hoon patch, I guess. But what I really wanted to get was the perspective. Now, originally when I brought the bike to a stop, I was up along here anyway. A little bit higher up on the hill. I really wanted to keep going down there. I really want to see where that track winds up. However, given the issues we're having with the clutch, it's probably not smart of me to head too far out there. Okay, so I appear to have averted disaster. A little bit of play in that now, and when I pop the clutch out, it's solid. Pop the clutch in, and there's a bit of play. That's probably more play than, it's quite warm, more play than what I'd prefer, I think. But I didn't take the whole plate off, but I am aware that the clutch pads in there are quite worn after almost 600 kilometres now. I think I'm going to turn around and go home now. I think before doing any massive rides, I need to be replacing these clutch pads. Because that's a sign that they're just too far gone. What's basically happened is the clutch pad material would have worn away so thin that there was metal on metal contact in there, and that's why pulling the clutch didn't make much of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and take this bike home now, and then when I get home I'll order some pads. Or I won't even order them, I'll just harvest them off another bike, because there is not a single engine that I've got at home that has done quite as much as this. Basically brand new pads we're looking at. We'll figure it out when we get there anyway. I'm rambling. Alright. Still recording. Oh, the battery on this camera is terrible. So we'll just ride you in on the last bar of the battery, and hopefully we will get home. Here we're going for fuels. Plenty. I've got both tanks open at the moment because there's not much left in the big tank. Once the big tank's less than half, it doesn't tend to overfill the small tank like what was happening the other day. Alright, we have compression, that's good. Back the way we came. Oh, come on now. We see what's happening here is I've let that flywheel out too much, and that's going to cause more trouble than if it was just binding. So still even on, yes, good. Uh-oh. Oh well, get us home. Alright, come on little bike, get us up that hill. We'll go back down and get a run up, I think, because there's no fucking way we're starting it up here.